Hello, my name is Nupur Shah and today's topic is piriformis syndrome. So this is the picture of the patient who is suffering from piriformis syndrome. You can see the patient is having gluteal region pain, that is the buttock pain, and that pain is getting radiated to the entire limb. So this is subjective. The pain can be localized or it can lead to peripheralization in the back of the thigh or in the back of the entire leg. Depends on how much is the sciatic nerve involvement because of the compression of the sciatic nerve through the piriformis muscle. So coming on to the introduction, it is a painful muscle condition which is characterized by the combination of symptoms such as gluteal pain or hip pain. It is painful neuritis of the branches of the sciatic nerve which is caused by the abnormal condition of the piriformis muscle such as injury or irritation of the muscle. The alternative names which are used in place of piriformis muscle syndrome is wallet neuritis, deep gluteal syndrome, or fat wallet syndrome. We all know that especially males have the habit of keeping the wallet in the back pocket of the jeans or of the formal pant. So that could lead to tightness or shortening of the piriformis muscle, which in turn leads to the compression of the sciatic nerve, which is passing just beneath the piriformis muscle. That is why it is named as the wallet neuritis or fat wallet syndrome. Causes tightness or spasm of the piriformis muscle, which can have various reasons, such as sedentary lifestyle, injury, previous injury, or lack of mobility, all those things, and even because of the wallet or because of some surgery of the hip, such as THR, trauma to the piriformis muscle, weak gluteal muscles, sitting on the thick wallet for a long period of time. So you can see in the picture that the sciatic nerve passes beneath the piriformis muscle. So this muscle is getting contracted, and if it is getting shortened, then it will create some irritation and compression at the sciatic nerve which is passing beneath it. What are the risk factors? Like I told you, it might happen after some surgery such as THA, that is total hip arthroplasty, excessive pronation of the feet, because there is abnormal kinetics and kinematics at the knee because of the overpronation of the foot while walking or while running, and that is why the abnormal kinetics and kinematics at the knee will in turn involve the hip joint and the gluteal part also. The hypertrophy and the spasm of the piriformis muscle, myofascial trigger points, gluteal trauma, abscess, hematoma, or myositis. These all are the risk factors. What are the signs and symptoms? Because of the sciatic nerve entrapment, there are few common symptoms of the nerve compression such as pain, tingling, numbness in the buttocks or posterior thigh or the hip or the entire leg on the back side, tenderness in the area of the sciatic notch, and if there is nerve compression, then there is one common feature which is the burning sensation, which is very commonly presented by the patient, and that is not mentioned here. So burning sensation has to be added in the signs and symptoms. Few tests are done through which we can suspect or we can conclude the piriformis muscle syndrome. The first one is the Petty maneuver. This is the starting position of the test. Likewise, the patient is in the sideline position with the hip and knee flexed mild, and then he has to abduct the involved limb. The involved limb has to be on top, and when he abducts, the pain will be elicited. So this, if the sciatic symptoms are elicited, then the test can be considered positive. The second one is the pace test. This is the second test where the patient is in the high sitting position, and you can see the therapist gives the resistance and patient does the movement outside. And if this is painful, that when the therapist is giving the resistance and the patient is moving the limb, and if it is painful, then the test is positive for piriformis. It can be suspected. We can even do the palpation at the glutei region, and there will be tenderness at the location of the piriformis muscle. Patient will complain of tenderness. We have to note down the grade. The other test which we can do is that we ask the patient to lie down in prone position, Both the knees has to be bent to 90 degrees, that is 90 degrees of knee flexion has to be done bilaterally at the same time. And then the patient is asked to do the internal rotation. While doing the internal rotation, you have to compare on both the sides whether both the sides internal rotation is going same or not. And if on one side, if it is going less, then the test is positive, that it can be considered that there is piriformis muscle shortening on the side where the internal rotation is going lesser than the other side. What are the treatment options? It is usually treated non-operatively. So modalities are given such as ultrasound, contrast bath. Gait training can be given in the later stages because the patient will not bear the weight on the affected part. So gait training can be given to normalize, and in some cases if the pain of the piriformis syndrome goes away, then the gait automatically becomes normal because the patient starts to do weight bearing on the affected side. Second and the most important is the stretching of the piriformis muscle, external rotators or IT band and IT band, strengthening of the gluteal muscles, adductors and abductors of the hips, of the hip joint, and NSAIDs is the medical management. This is the stretching of the piriformis, which is shown in the picture. Self stretching of piriformis. This is the stretching of the IT band, which is shown in the picture. If the conservative management fails, then the patient has to go for the operative management, which is mentioned here, and it is not usually common. In the operative management, there is surgical release of the piriformis muscle. Generally, a posterior approach is used, and after the surgery is done, the patient has to do weight bearing as tolerated after 2 weeks of the surgery. And once the initial phase of the protection phase is over, at that time the normal stretching of the piriformis muscle can be started. Thank you.